Hi everyone. Hi
Hello, welcome
Lee.
back. Hi, Jen.
Welcome back to another episode with Mystic Scales and Fae
From Fae
Tales
Tales
Pod.
Podcast.
I'm Jennifer, Jen.
I'm Lee. I'm Lee. We're gonna do a mini episode today. It's kind of a mini episode that we had to split though, because we're talking about a
Two-parter.
series. We're gonna talk about Powerless today. So Powerless is by Lauren Roberts. It is her first release. So
Mhm.
it's kind of been cool to see her journey. She has three books and a novella, with potentially another novella planned, I
Yeah.
think. So it's, correct me if I'm wrong, Powerless, Powerful, Reckless, and Fearless just came out this month,
Yes.
or April, I should say.
Yeah, she's a young author, which is like at least has been fun to watch her grow. Like she's like 22, I think. She wrote Powerless when she
Yeah.
was 18 as like a
Yeah.
love letter to all of her other fantasies that she's read and been obsessed with. She was posting on TikTok a lot, and I think that sort of helped.
Mm.
Which we should have a whole series talking about the impact of book talk. But um, this is a big book talk sensation, New York Times bestseller. So much so that Simon Schuster has invested so much into this that
Oh my goodness, yeah.
they have like special editions. They don't have a lot of special editions. I would say like there's other books that have more, but they have like exclusive to B&N. And then for Fearless, they did a whole like collection with like t-shirts and pins and um
The Funko Pop.
stickers, Funko Pops, which Funko Pops is a very expensive brand to go into. They have
Yeah.
bookends that are daggers. Something that was like really cool that I'm actually probably gonna go back and buy myself for my birthday that I still have. Just because it was also stuff that was like it just looks cute, like romantasy wise, because like this book really focuses
Yeah.
on like daggers and like it
Right.
has
The
all of the
roses,
yeah
yeah. It's
classic cliche fantasy stuff.
hmm
So yeah, Powerless, the book came out in 2023. So now we're on 2025 and the series has ended. So that's a very short amount of time for
Yeah.
a series.
Yeah. Which we
Um,
can also have an episode talking about that
of the rush of
publication
pop schedules.
times. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
I think the world needs to chill out. Um, like content will come.
Well, I love how these books are coming faster than like TV series. Like we'll
Well,
be waiting like
yeah.
3 years for The Last of Us or like Game of
Oh,
Thrones or whatever,
so
and then
true.
like this book. I mean, obviously books are easier to pump out than like an entire television series or movie with a bunch of people on
Right.
and all this stuff. But it's just so funny.
Right.
It's like the same demand, and you're like, relax. Oh, speaking of, Powerless has been picked up for I think TV. Let me actually, it might be a series. Let me double check that.
I mean this in like not a mean way, but it gives very like CW or like ABC Family like freeform vibes. Like if that kind of show,
Yeah, TV series was picked up. Um,
it could be cute.
yeah, I think it could be. Um, it's just funny that like all of these like new series are being picked up so quickly for TV and television. But again, a network can pick it up and then hold on to it for years. But like we
Right.
have
Like
the Fourth Wing Amazon, we have the Light Lark, which I saw that she posted that she was even writing this like finishing the scripts. Like that's actually
really.
happening with Universal. And then Powerless, yeah, which she hasn't posted anything about her writing the script.
Mm,
So I'm sure like that, but that also might have just taken a little bit because they have to finish the series.
right.
So she probably is going to do that next, I'm assuming. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, so like it's very interesting. But Powerless, she is the very thing he spent his whole life hunting. He is the very thing she spent her whole life pretending to be. Only the extraordinary belong to the kingdom of Ilia, the exceptional, the empowered, the elites. The powers these elites have possessed for decades were graciously gifted to them by the plague, though not all were fortunate enough to both survive the sickness and reap the reward. Those born ordinary are just that, ordinary. And when the king decreed that all ordinaries be banished in order to preserve his elite society, lacking in ability suddenly became a crime, making Peyton Gray a felon by fate and a theft by necessity. Surviving the slums as an ordinary is no simple task, and Peyton knows this better than most. Having been trained by her father to be overly observant since she was a child, Peyton poses as a psychic
Mm.
in the crowded city, blending in with the elites as best she can in order to stay alive and out of trouble. Easier said than done. When Peyton unsuccessfully saves one of Ilya's princes, she finds herself thrown into the purging trials. The brutal competition exists to showcase the elite's powers, the very thing Peyton lacks. If the trials and the opponents within them don't kill her, the prince she's fighting feelings for certainly will if he discovers what she is completely ordinary. So, all that to say, it sounds amazing. And I loved the first book. I was like
Yeah.
hyping up the first book. I
Yeah.
wrote a review on it on my Bookstagram. Like, Lee read it because of my review of
Mhm.
it.
We
And
went to the midnight release party of the second one
we
because of
did
it.
do that. Uh-huh. And that's why
So,
I got you to read it. And I will say this series has also grown up because of their choice with audiobook. So
mm,
on the audiobook, they have two um actresses, actually three if you count in the second book when Kit is introduced
it joins, yeah.
with his chapters, Chase Brown and
Hmm.
Cecily Bender-Schmidt. So Chase Brown has blown up because his voice as Kai is so sexy and so perfect. So everyone on freaking Book Talk and TikTok,
No, we
like
should have had a clip
that
ready.
made it even better. I'll get it up. That made it even better for this book, I think, that
Yeah,
everyone was just like, "Oh my God, I love it so much." Like this guy playing Kai, like he's amazing. Like that is what brought this book to the next level, which is I love when an audiobook has that power. Like that's so great.
hmm.
And them making the choice to have two actors, so they have like a female reading for Peyton and then a male for Kai really helped because most books don't have that unless if it's a
Right.
graphic audio.
Y'all gonna get a special treat here in Chase Brown.
It's literally amazing. And I kind of want to follow this actor without like all the books he does.
Yeah, I follow him
It's
on
so good.
Instagram. He just did some like shake I want to say like Hamlet or something, I think, in the UK. So I think that would be pretty cool.
Oh, he did like a recording of it or he's like in it.
No, like the play. Like,
Ooh.
A ball of fire skims past my face, nearly singeing my hair off. I barely have the time to duck when I feel a second wave of heat rippling towards me. Plagues. Kit's in a lovely mood today. Dancing on the balls of my feet, I watch as another sphere of fire comes hurtling in my direction, as the familiar feel of adrenaline floods through me. I throw up a shield of water, hearing the fire hiss before it melts into nothing more than a thick cloud of steam. Kit squints, attempting to see me through the smoke before his eyes widen, when I suddenly collide with him. We tumble to the ground as I pin him down.
Just imagine that voice when he's like, vicious little thing,
uh,
darling. He calls her all these things, and
oh, he does call her darling.
you're like swooning. My lesbian ass was like, this man is getting me. Like, he is perfect for the book. So I think that's also what hyped up this book and got us to where we are.
Mhm.
Um, but and then also the novella was great. And then I think our opinions can change as we'll get into as we get to the second book and then as we get to the third book.
The
It's
third book,
suffering
yeah.
from the, thing I always talk about with TikTok books or books being rushed that we both discussed multiple times of the authors feeling rushed and it just doesn't feel as much as their baby as the first one. And that creates plot holes and plot
Yeah.
things that are just not the best.
Yeah.
But all that to say, let's start off with
Do
Powerless.
you want to say like how you found it?
Oh
Like
yeah.
what was your journey? Because
How did
you brought me in.
how did I find Powerless? I might have found Powerless through TikTok actually. I might have found it through TikTok or Book Talk. I definitely love the cover though. It's like, with the sword and everything. I think
Mhm.
that also might have seen it a lot. I think I just knew about it and then that's what made me pick it up. I got the audiobook of it and that's what got me into it because then I never had the I don't think I think I got the physical copy after. Yeah, I did with you. So the
Yeah.
audiobook is what got me in and like I
Yeah.
said the readers and everything like that got me into it. I read it really quick. And then when the second one was coming out, I made you read the first
Mhm.
one and then
Literally
we went
like
to the
2 weeks
party.
before. You were
Literally.
like, go.
I was like, listen to this entire thing, you'll love it. And then we got into the third one, which then the second one, which then because we had started the audiobook and we fell in love with the actors,
We
like
had,
we kept
yeah.
going and we did the audiobook for Reckless and then we did the audiobook for Fearless. although we
Mhm.
do have the physical copies of all of them,
We do.
and we did read the novella, not in audiobook. So I wonder how that sounds in
That's
audiobook
true.
too. I don't know who
Mm,
plays each person, so I wonder how that goes.
that's a
But
good
that was
point.
such a
Yeah.
short read that it was nice to just
Mhm.
like kind of eat it up ourselves.
Yeah.
Um, and our Reckless copy is signed because we went to the party. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think our powerful copy is signed too.
yeah, yeah, I think
I
so
think we
too.
got that, which is cool. And
Yeah.
that's why I had to buy the physical of the last one because I
Which
was like,
we would have loved to go to that party, but Lee was in Hawaii and I was in
I
Florida.
guess
So it's
there were
fine.
more important things. I'm so sorry.
We were on vacation, which we would have loved it. But we did, like we said, we went to the party, we got to meet Lauren, and she's a lovely author. And, you know, like we're
Mm,
gonna have critiques of this series, we're gonna have critiques of
mm,
this, spoilers for this episode, obviously we're gonna have critiques of it, but not to say like I truly do love this author, and I think I wrote this in my fearless review that I'm very excited to see where she goes from here. I think she
yeah.
has a great potential, and she's the sweetest being, like human being. Like
Yeah.
she's clearly so into this genre, she's clearly so into writing and to the fans. So
Mm,
we're gonna critique it. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna say what we love and hate about it. But Lauren, if you ever listen to this, we love you, girl. We
yeah.
truly love you. Like I
Yeah.
can't wait for your next books.
And like her post, like wrapping up the trilogy was so sweet and just kind of like inspiring for anyone who is like trying to publish. So
Yeah.
I really appreciated that. I do know like she's had some backlash uh because of the Red Queen
The Red
series.
Queen, yes. But the
So,
author from the Red Queen spoke up about that, which was
oh,
great.
did she?
He
Okay.
did, I believe, because there was a point in time when Powerless was being judged because it's very similar, or I think it was really with Reckless, to the Red Queen, and I think that she spoke out and she just was like, people are gonna cop like everything's an idea from everyone else. Like
Yeah. I think it got
it's
a
all
little
gonna keep going.
extreme. Like people were like throwing out like plagiarism, and I don't think she ever did like any word for word. Like we definitely noted like similar tropes and everything, but like you said, it's more of like a love letter to all the fantasy and dystopian that we grew up with. But I do think like you kind of need to know that going into this series,
That's
otherwise you might
true.
have some judgments.
Okay, so let's jump into the first book,
Hmm.
at least for this first part of the mini episode. You know, get everyone hyped. They should definitely go read the first book. You know, let's get them
As you
hyped.
should. Yes.
What what do you think of the first book? Like, did you rate it? Like, what was your vibe? Did you like all the tropes? Like, give me your review.
I don't think I rated it. I think I probably would rate it around a 4, thinking back on it. Because I think it like kind of towed the line of like this is very tropey, this is very like Hunger Games copycat. Like I had read the first book of Red Queen, so I was also very much like this is Red Queen. Um, but I think like Kai as a main male character, like he is written so well. And like she carries that through the whole series. And like audiobook aside, I think even like she just
Hmm.
has a way with writing him. It's very like lyrical, metaphorical. I think that's very well done. So I think him alone, I would read anything that he is a part of. Um, and I think like it was intriguing. I mean, to be back in kind of a dystopian era of like this is society and like it's bad. How do we battle it?
And it really
Peyton.
questioned that in that first book. Like, it really brought
Yeah.
up that topic of like people being like hunted and like what is good and what is bad society, this whole powerless and powerful people. Like, I really loved that about the first book.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was confused by the whole plague thing, and I don't think it really clicked until we finished the third one and you recapped what you had in your notebook. Love the characters, love the concept, didn't care about the trials. I don't think that I think because they felt more like that was her pulling from the Hunger Games, I didn't think she did them as well. So
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I also thought they kind of went by really fast, so I don't remember exactly
Yeah, we don't
everyone.
remember any of them.
Yeah. except for obviously the very last one, because like Peyton gets this enemy in Blair,
Hmm.
and Blair is telekinetic, right? She can move things.
Yep. And it was a maze. That was the trial.
Okay, yeah. And like Peyton's spoilers.
Spoiler for the whole series.
Peyton's best friend ends up dying at the hands of Blair.
Which that was great writing.
It was.
That
It
was
was. And
awesome
like
writing.
definitely like it's the very end of the book too, so it really had to like pick up. And I think she does a pretty good job at like cliffhangers and propelling the story, but there's a lot of like the inner workings that just felt I don't
It
know.
felt like it needed more polishing.
Yeah.
Because there was some points where like she like would repeat herself so much, like powerful, powerless,
Oh, right.
powerless. And you're just like, I get it. She feels
Yes.
powerless. I got it. Um, but I will say I wrote this in my review too, that I think that as the series progressed, her writing style got even more and more better. Like she
Mhm.
is so real, like so good at doing these like metaphors and these like um the yearning and the writing of Kai and the things that he says and the things he notices and same with Pei, I would say at some points, but it's just she needs to polish up her plotting, and that's what
Yeah.
where it's getting bad. So that's why I was like, I wonder, like I know this is a fantasy romantic series, but it's like it's kind of leaning more to the romance. But then like there is not to say that there's romance is not plotty. Romance is very much plotty, but like she's really good at writing that relationship. And like and so I'm like, I wonder if she would then switch genres to like go to a romance book where she could like really focus on the relationship more. Um and
Yeah, because she could do that and just have it be in like a medieval world, you
exactly.
know?
As I said to you, a cozy
Yeah.
fantasy. She would do
Yeah.
really well in cozy fantasy, where
Mhm.
it's like you don't have this entire plot that's coming around that you have to root up in the end. Like the plot
Yeah.
could be very minimal. There could be a conflict that she can easily like solve and handle, and then be able to focus on this relationship of characters because
Right.
that's her bread and butter is the relationship with the characters, the development of it, where we feel that by the end of this series with Powerless, the storyline kind of just like veered off a little bit.
Yeah.
It was I loved the first book because it focused a lot on the society and like you said, the dystopian and the love for that. And that kind of like lessened throughout the books. And I would say the like idea of it being even dystopian kind of started to leave in a way and it
Yeah.
became more and more not that and not focus on like the society and the issues of society. Like it was there, but it was also like a back burner. Like by Fearless, they're like, yeah, we need to open our borders because they don't have any food. And then by the end, they're like, okay, well, it's solved. And I'm like,
Right.
is everyone like still starving? Like, I don't
Right.
understand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
You're
understand.
like, wait a minute, what about the people?
Yeah, and like also like there's probably so much like political and like between the people and like their views and the fighting. I'm like this isn't as
Yeah.
focused on, which
And
is like sad.
she had characters like from so that part of the town or the kingdom is called Loot, right? And she had characters from Loot. She had Lenny and she had Mac and she had Adina and that one boy who disappeared after Reckless, like I don't even remember. I think he had like red hair and freckles and then he was just gone. Um but so she had them, and then she didn't like utilize them
Hmm.
to be telling the story of the people.
Hmm.
Like she brought Lenny in, and he was just a guard at the end.
And like he gets back to the kingdom and he's like, yeah, I'm back. And you're like, what? Like how are you just back? Like that makes like
Yeah.
you changed his story so much.
Yeah. And doesn't at the end he asked to be like set free or something?
Yeah, and then the assumption is that because Blair he was like, yeah, I want to explore and see what the rest of the world has to offer, or like door, or whatever he said. And because
Mhm.
in the in the finale, when Blair is spotted indoor or wherever they are
Oh,
visiting,
right.
the assumption is that Lenny went with her and like a
They
love
were,
story happened there because like they were guarding each other and he's just like she's not as bad as you think and like him
yeah.
asking like that's like the underlying underlying plot that's above beyond the other underlying ones is that like they fell in love and so like that people also theorize that that could be the next novella.
Which gotta say, I thought Lenny was like a 50-year-old man. So
Same. Same. I was so confused. I was like, wait,
I was
what?
like, what are you talking about? He's with Blair.
Powerless, the first book, I definitely gave it four, like you said, I gave it 4 stars. But then like as the series came on, I think I like and landed at like a 3.5 or like closer to a three because of the
Yeah.
plot, it just doesn't fit and it doesn't work. And I guess to like really give you the nitty gritty of that, so like not just say like a plot doesn't work, it just she doesn't focus like she ends up throwing so much information at you at once when you get to Fearless that it should have been done within book two, where book two
Mhm.
felt it was just nothing was happening
Mhm.
and like they just had like and it was that really focus on the relationship, which is great, but like you didn't move the plot forward with that at all. Like that
No.
could have been a novella.
Right. And it would have been a great one. I also think for Fearless and like towards the end, there was so much information that we were getting as the reader that the characters weren't getting, and I felt like I was drowning in that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk more about it in the next episode, because we'll probably dive deeper into Fearless then. But I don't know if that's a function of like her beta readers or whatever, but I just feel like someone needed to say like you need to either give more information up front or like you need to change this
Mm-hmm.
because it and like we joined a new Fable club to like be part of
Yes,
this, which was very fun.
it
Um,
was.
but we were all just kind of like frustrated and just like grossed out
And like, what
for
is
too
happening? Like
long.
nothing makes sense. We were just and our conversation of what we, Lee and I text each other all the time when we're reading books together. Usually we're like commenting on things, and our conversation just ended up being like, okay, let's recap what just happened. Like it wasn't
Yeah,
even like, what do we think of it? It was just like, wait, I need to like talk to you about this because I don't know what just happened and need
right.
to like put it down myself.
Yeah.
And I hated
And
that.
yeah, and I even had to like go back and think and be like, all the theories, like some of them didn't end up being true, like the one about Callum specifically,
Hmm.
uh, because he wasn't controlling anyone. He was
No,
just a mind reader.
yeah,
And but we all got like wrapped up in that and
because
we
that
made it a
made the most
reality.
sense to us.
Right. And that wasn't the reality of the book. And I don't think I've experienced that really in a book, maybe in a TV show. Like what happens is very Star Wars, very Luke and Leia.
Yeah, it is
And
very Star
so
Wars.
like we have experience with that, but I don't think I've experienced this with a book.
Wait,
Um
speaking of Lee, your shirt is Star Wars. Can you explain your outfit to us?
yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but by now, I like to theme my outfits in these videos to what we're talking about. And like last time we did Sunrise. So I wore a Spider-Man, like them pointing at each other's shirt, and that was an ode to Luella and Lulu. And today I was trying to find like flowers or like roses, and I couldn't find anything, but I found my Kylo Ren shirt, and I figured he's an enforcer, and Kai is the enforcer of the kingdom, the most brutal in the kingdom. So
And
that
Kylo
was
Ren was
my
misunderstood, so it makes sense.
yeah.
Kylo Ren,
Kai.
Kai
Yeah, there you go.
misunderstood, ends up falling for the person he shouldn't be falling for. They kiss at the end, but then he doesn't die in this book. I
No.
mean, he
Oh,
did. Actually, he did.
well,
We thought he
actually, he
did.
did.
So
Yeah.
maybe this was
Force
maybe Fearless.
projection.
Fearless is a Kylo Ren and Rey fanfic
Ray, Vic. I
put
mean,
into
honestly, yeah,
production.
she might have some Star Wars influence. We haven't thought about that before.
It feels very much like it.
But just kind of like going back on what you said, like I do like to recommend this. Like I love to recommend the first one. And I think like the plot is like pretty cookie cutter, like
Yeah, it
we
is.
have the trials, we have, here she is thrown into this society. King is bad. She defeats King. Now she's on the run. Falls in love potentially with two princes, like very much up in the air. We had to laugh because in our Fantasy Worlds episode, you're like, yeah, you belong with Kit. And then after we read, we were like, no, you do not
Listen,
belong with me.
I have a different perspective of who Kit is that doesn't exist in this book, and I feel like I should just write Kit's fan fiction at this point because his
Which
character went the way that it shouldn't have, in my opinion.
Yeah, we definitely need to break that down because I love all of your thoughts on that. I loved your review for that. But yeah, this series, love it, but it does have like a little asterisk where we're like,
But like go
of,
into it with and this in mind, essentially.
mhm, mhm.
So I think we can wrap up this mini episode by just focusing on that. I think that was a great conversation about Powerless, the first book. In our next mini episode, we're going to talk about the newest book, Fearless, and we'll break down that. Um,
Yeah.
but I love that we did this beforehand because it gives a caveat of like, listen, we actually do like this series.
Yeah.
I know it sounds like we're shitting on it half the time. It sounds like we're shitting on half the books we read, but we actually like the
Right.
books we
But we
read.
do. Yeah. And like we were like I think this was one of our top books for like 2025 that we were like
Yeah.
excited about.
It
So
it was, and it didn't live up to that. But
it happens.
all that to say, thank you so much for listening for this mini episode about Powerless and why we love and hate the series. Stay tuned for our next mini episode where we break down the last book in the series specifically. Check out our book clubs on the app Fable, in our Instagram bio and anywhere you find us. And check out our TikTok as well, Fairy Tale Podcast, and same on Instagram. We are going to be finishing up Crescent City,
Yay.
and going on to Divine Rivals in our book club, and that will eventually line up with our podcast episodes. So everything we read in the book club, we will review on the podcast like really right after we finish
Yeah.
so you're able to follow along. So it's a great like reading listening experience that I personally am really excited for because I know as a reader, I would love that when I finish a book. I want to like look up someone's review on it. So you'll be able
Mhm.
to get that from us. So stay tuned for more. Hopefully you pick up Powerless. Let us know what you think
Yeah, let us know.
for sure.
At least
And
at least check out the audiobook. Like
yes,
look it up on TikTok. Like you'll do yourself a favor.
literally. And happy reading.
Happy reading.